All right, fellas, welcome to Mint Map Spaces on this beautiful Friday again. I think all of us had a pretty wild week, crypto wise at least. Um, Let me just see if I can get Jason in here. Jason, let me know if you get my invitation here to speak. I'd also like to welcome Maria. STC is here, our trophy hunter award holder, the first one actually. We got Poly Raiders, Soul Rockers, Daniel. Yeah, we're waiting for Tom. I think Tom wanted to show up, and as soon as Jason gets the mic here, we can definitely jump into the topics. We have a lot to talk about. At first, we wanted to talk about how crypto bull runs, especially now with Bitcoin hitting new all-time highs, affect the NFT space. And after that, we also want to talk a little bit about the AI drop that is coming up, our little drop from Masan. I think you guys may have seen some stuff from her. We posted a lot of stuff. She might show up as well today. And yeah, quite some stuff to talk about. But first of all, let's hand the mic over to Jason. Jason, how are you?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself? It's good to see everybody out and about this fine Friday morning or evening, wherever you are in the world. Good to see you, Daniel. I don't think you've popped in before, man. We'll have to catch up and see what's going on with your most recent project. STC, obviously, Poly Raiders. Always great to see you guys. Maria, hope to hear your amazing Spanish accent today. Definitely pop up and tell us what's going on in your world. But yeah, things are fantastic, man. The sun is shining. It is the perfect time of year to be here in Arizona, and the markets are moving. So it's been a pretty fun week. How about you?
Yeah, same here. It's gotten pretty cold actually. I'm not sure if it's like that in Europe or everywhere. I think Maria can tell us if it's still hot in Spain or not. I mean, we've all seen that parts of Spain had some floods. I think part of Valencia was it. I think Bilo posted about it in our Discord, which was terrible. Hope everything is getting better over there. But yeah, everything good on my side. I mean, I remember on Monday's podcast episode, we talked about Bitcoin going from 85 to 86,000. And, after the last couple of days, we saw it going almost to like, I think it was 93, if I'm right. And it's crazy, man. It's crazy, crazy to see a lot of volatility in the markets, a lot of attention getting into the markets, and yeah, couldn't be happy. Whoever wants to speak, feel free to request the mic. I think I got a request here. I'll definitely hand over the mic. Looks like we got Maria in here. I approved your request.
Hey guys, how are you doing? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, Maria. I actually, just like a couple days ago, I watched I'm not sure if it was on YouTube, but I watched like your anime show here on X. I think it was an older video, but I enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you so much. Actually, I wanted to start doing like videos and so on because I have it like an excuse to learn how to edit because I always wanted to learn. And also, I was like, okay, let's gonna talk about anime because I spend the majority of the day watching it while drawing. So yeah, I'm having so much fun. Obviously, it's not like I'm putting 100% of myself there. It's just a hobby, but I'm having so much fun, definitely. So I appreciate you watching and that you like it. But yeah, also I wanted to comment of what you said about the terrible weather in Spain. Thankfully, no one in my family, neither my friends, were affected. But yeah, it's been like really frustrating, I will say, for all of us who live abroad and we cannot do anything and we're seeing that disaster and people not getting help. But yeah, we'll see now this kind of weather, like the Dana it is called, which this incredible crazy raining and so on, is moving over here as well. So we'll see. Most probably spend the weekend inside just in case. But yeah.
Hey, Maria, how many people were affected by the weather, by the floods? Was it a large number?
It was actually, and the funny part is that the official news, and I'm gonna say official, like kind of, they weren't saying the actual numbers, so we got the majority of the information from the people who are living there and who are actually saying, no, what you're seeing on the news aren't real. So I don't even know how much is gonna be the number in total, but it's been already weeks, and there are already, like some villages, I will say, that they haven't even received any help yet. And I'm talking about after weeks already passed. So the situation there is really bad. Yeah, like people aren't happy at all. I'm not gonna start a political, discussion here, but I really don't know what else Spanish people need to open their eyes. I don't know, do something, because this is already crazy and too bad.
That's terrible to hear. I think we had the same thing happening here in the Carolinas. We had the government slow to respond and avoiding certain houses and people not getting help for days and days and weeks on end. So it's sad to see that it's happening at another part in the world. That's really terrible.
Yes, like I'm trying to look it in the positive way. Like at least you could see how much people got involved. And at the end of the day, were, Spanish people and also like foreigner and people who came just to volunteer to help others. And obviously that makes you feel great. Like, there is still human beings, there, that they take care of others, no matter the government does. So in that sense, I'm happy.
Yeah, for sure. It's such a gift, right? To be able to help someone and to be helped by someone. It feels so good when you're able to just, brighten someone's day in some small way, especially in a disaster situation like this. So hopefully, it can get back to normal as soon as possible. Is Daniel in Spain as well? I think, or no? Am I thinking?
No, he's from Latin America.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so other part of the world entirely. I knew there was a Spanish-speaking connection there somewhere, but I couldn't remember where you were from, Daniel. Sorry about that, bud. Yeah, so what's going on in your world artwork wise? I see you keep putting out piece after piece after piece after piece. It sounds like you, it looks like you haven't had any rest or sleep for like the last 6 months.
Well, actually, that is true, because I was saying this in another space the other day. Like, I was checking photos of me just 2 years ago, and I'm like, what the hell happened? Like, what the hell happened to myself? Definitely Web3 happened, basically, to summarize. But no, to be honest, like, I'm taking it slowly, even though maybe it feels like, I'm producing a lot. It's nothing compared like last year or the year before. And definitely, balancing my work and personal life, because, after reaching burnout, I was like, okay, we have to change things here. But I'm doing this like one-on-one art pieces drop every other week. Yeah, I'm having so much fun. It's all about, black and white art, and also with some color details, different themes, and definitely having so much fun in sense of creativity, like, coming with different characters, I don't know, half beast, demons, and so on. So I'm having so much fun. I'm really happy that people are loving them, um, because it's, giving me so much joy to create them.
Yeah, fantastic, fantastic. I mean, every time I pop up the timeline, I see that you have just released something. So, I know a little bit about what it's like to put out that much artwork. So I know that a lot of time goes into that. So kudos to you. Are you have you been watching the markets, or have you been excited by what's been happening in the crypto world?
Well, like my partner works full time on crypto, so for me it is like crypto conversation every day. So I'm a bit worn out about that as well. Like, okay, here we go again, another day, another discussion. But I'm excited. I'm excited after all this time, seeing things moving. I'm just cannot wait to see also alts getting the attention. Obviously, now that the majority is like BTC, what is the name in English? Dominancia? BTC dominancia? I don't know the word in English, but I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. But looks like everything is there, and also on the memes is crazy. Like seriously, I don't touch them just because I know how unlucky I am. But people are getting like huge, percentage of benefits on the means, since I just wish that will convert at certain point to other alts, and also maybe at the end of the end to NFTs, but we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. So for everybody who just popped in, I saw we had a couple of folks drop in. We're going to talk a little bit about what's happening in the bull run and how that may or may not impact NFTs. I think a lot of times we talk a lot about the bull run and we assume that bull run in crypto necessarily means that there's going to be a bull run in NFTs. And I think the truth is it's not necessarily the same market. So we're just going to kind of toss this idea around. And if anyone has opinions, feel free to request the mic. We're just going to free flow and see if we can get to the bottom of the situation. But with that thrown out, Alex, man, what are your thoughts? I mean, we've seen Bitcoin go up to almost $1.8 trillion, I think, in market cap. So it surpassed the global supply of silver, for example, for the first time ever, which is a huge accomplishment. I mean, if it goes to 120, 150, I mean, you could see it surpass the total supply of gold in the world. It's insane what's happening in the world, man. And do you think that this is gonna, be a boon for NFTs and artwork, or is it just gonna be a crypto thing?
Well, as we have spoken about, we actually talked about the topic for today's space, and when we said that we wanted to talk about that, I actually did some research how it went the last time, and there's actually a study analyzing data from January 18 to April 21, found that a Bitcoin price shock triggers an increase in NFT sales. And that's interesting because you probably cannot just transfer that situation to today, because obviously, like 2021 was the big hype for NFTs. It was actually like the birth of NFTs, and we saw all these crazy images like being worth millions, and everyone was basically shilling them. We had all these celebrities showing off their NFTs, and now today we are actually at a point where the NFT space matured. And I mean, in the end, the question will be, will like the gains in the crypto market lead to like new investors looking for other markets to to get their financial gains. That's actually the thing. When people made their profits, they usually look out for other markets where they can actually um yeah make similar or make potential similar gains. And the only problem is that you know that obviously kind of attracts like flippers and people who only want like the financial profits, and not the ones who value utility or the artistic value behind NFTs. And that's why I think we will see a lot of volatility coming to NFTs again, but I'm not sure if it's going to be sustainable in the end. What do you think?
I look at it like it's two separate markets, and I just want to welcome in Sandra. Good to see you. Hopefully, you looked up those guns we were talking about on the timeline the other day. I never got your opinion on the artistry of either. Um, MSL, Julian, CQ. If any of you guys want to pop up, we're just going to be free flowing, so feel free to join the conversation. But yeah, like the crypto market and the NFT market are very different markets, I think. And I think a lot of times they get conflated and kind of thrown into the same basket. And the truth is, like, we've seen crypto run every 4 years in lockstep, basically with the Bitcoin halving cycle. But we've really only seen NFTs run once, and that was, like you said, like 2020, 2021. And so I don't necessarily think people have sort of separated the two, because with the advent of NFTs, we've only seen that first cycle where it ran, and then we saw this massive pullback with the Bitcoin cycle, but also with the FTX debacle and all that kind of stuff. But we haven't really seen many signs of life. And I think a lot of that has to do with like misplaced expectations, projects showing up and kind of lying about what they're doing, or, creating these, insane sort of hype cycles around what it is they're doing. And then you have the market basically staying the same size, but the same number of people just moving from project to project. So you see like a wave of people go through one project, a wave of people go through the next project. And if you've been in the market long enough, I'm sure everyone here has seen that. So I don't necessarily consider them the same market. I think NFTs can run, and I think there'll be a lot of speculation and a lot of sort of interest brought into the space as a whole. But I don't necessarily think someone who is, like a normie looking at like the Bitcoin price or the Solana price or the Ethereum price is going to see the price run up and go like, oh shit, I need to go buy some NFTs. I don't think that sort of adds up. So I'd be curious to know what y'all's thoughts are. What do you think about that idea, Maria?
I was laughing because 100% agree. I feel like they are two separate markets for sure. It's true that, like when, and we saw this, like when the meme season started, a lot of people started to, drop NFTs to the floor, trying to catch up a bit of money to join this DJing movement. But to be honest, I don't think like those people are the actual collectors you want to get at the end of the day. I'm not saying that you cannot, sold your NFTs. Obviously, you can. I'm sure that all the artists will be more than happy if you do profits with their art. But in terms of DJing and so on, I don't think like. The NFT market is the same or is going aligned with the crypto market at all. Is what you said, like if someone started to see like BTC, the normies, and I have people already in the past and nowadays again, oh, so I saw this coin you mentioned, it is doing like by 10 by 20 whatever, maybe I should invest a day. Won't think about, okay, I have to buy an NFT, because for them already, like thinking about buying crypto is already a huge step, getting all the different steps you have to go through to being able to buy crypto. Imagine then you have to move them to the NFT space. I don't think that is going to happen. Most probably what will happen if we get more fans like us collectors already, we're gonna obviously spend more money in buying NFTs. At least is what I'm gonna do, because I've been buying even during this market being wrecked, and I will most probably continue buying if I get way more fans. So yeah.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I think it sounds like we're thinking very similarly on that vein. And just want to take a moment and welcome in Friends Factory. Is that Gensu behind the microphone or behind the PFP over there? We've got a couple folks joining us, Moses and Poly Raiders. These guys are out in Africa. I'd be curious to know what your take on what's happening in the crypto world is, fellas, if you want to pop up and say hello. But yeah, what are your thoughts, Alex? Do you agree with what's happening there? We're just kind of free flowing on this conversation. For those of you guys who just joined us, like, is the crypto market and the NFT market tied, or are they two different markets? And we're kind of coming to the conclusion that they're two separate markets and they may not impact one another. But we're open to hearing what you guys think. So, Alex, over to you, buddy.
Yeah, I feel like the real question is whether investors always move towards where they see the greatest potential, and this is essentially how it works with altcoins. Profits from Bitcoin flow into mid-cap coins and then into low-cap coins. And that's how it's at least usually presented. But the question is, though, and that's what we are discussing here, is where the NFT space fits into this dynamic. I mean, obviously whoever is into NFTs usually also holds crypto. Vice versa, it's not like that. There are many crypto holders not having anything to do with NFTs. So yeah, it's a big question, and I'd probably agree that it's two separate markets. And I'm curious to see whether NFTs will actually get the hype they had back in 2021. Let me just, I get two requests here. I think we got Friends Factory and Crypto CQ. Let me just approve you guys, and you can definitely have the mic. Friends Factory, welcome. Is this Jinsu?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When when Archer said on the mic, I was like, well, I guess I gotta go up and talk with my boys, man. What's going on, fam? Uh, I would love to listen a little bit more before I throw my take into it, but very good conversation all around, man. And hell yeah, that's what we here. We're here to run support, fam, and we would love to contribute to this conversation. But I would love to hear more about how you guys think that the coins and the NFTs is a little bit different. I would love to hear more on that perspective before I answer.
Yeah, definitely,
brother.
man.
Definitely.
Great to have you. We also got CQ, man. How are you, man?
Hey, everybody. I'm hanging out with my 5-year-old son, so this could be interesting. But I thought I'd chime in. I haven't had a good Sorry, he's 4. He's corrected me. He's 4.5-year-old. But can you help me yeah, I can, darling. Yeah. Fix it. Oh, yeah, I will. There you go. Oh, no. Okay. I'm going to just... All right, let me do it in a minute. Give me 2 seconds. I just want to chime in with some friends, yeah? Give me 2 seconds, buddy.
So good, man.
I was thinking, yeah, man. I was thinking it's a really good point that we've only really had one kind of NFT kind of boom, if you like, and I think that means that it's really difficult to say because, obviously with previous bull markets, we could kind of try and draw some, patterns, even though they haven't even, Bitcoin and crypto's only been around for what is it, like 15 years or something. So even then there's not that many cycles to draw conclusions, but I'm kind of the opinion that I think money will flow into NFTs at some point, whether, as Maria said, it's just the same people who now have more money or whether it's new participants. I think the issue is that
I fixed it, but now there's another problem.
We can fix it though, mate.
But now the other problem's gone back on.
Okay, I'll help you fix it. I'm gonna just yeah, be careful, dude. So yeah, but I do think money will flow into NFTs at some point, but I just think it's a question as well, is that we've got so many projects. Like this is the issue with altcoins. There is just so many, and meme coins, that that capital is going to be spread across all of them. So I think it's really a question of what NFT projects are really going to benefit from that. And I would just assume that it's the ones that can just have maintained their profile and that have put efforts in despite the bear, just to kind of have visibility and just marketing, kind of good old fashioned marketing, if you want to call it that. But yeah, super excited to see. I think we'll know, won't we, in the next 6 months, kind of 6 months to a year, we'll definitely know.
Yeah, 100%, man. I'm just curious, now that the meme coin topic popped up, how many of you guys who are listening, just throw up a reaction, if you can. Like, how many of you guys who are listening actively buy and sell meme coins or actively hold or long meme coins? Just throw up a reaction if it's possible. I'm just curious. Got a couple folks. Looks like they seem to be in the minority on this call, which is kind of funny. Yeah, so like if you've been on these calls before, you know my thoughts on meme coins. I think they're all trash and they're all going to zero ultimately. I mean, that's my that's my way of looking at it. I mean, you can obviously make money in the short run, but it seems to be a market where people just enjoy dumping on one another. And the way that it works, from what I can tell, is if you can form a big enough group behind the scenes and then pump out enough hype in the short term and drive the prices up, then you and your little group that generated the hype behind the scenes can dump on everybody that came in at the last minute. So to me, it's kind of like the ultimate pyramid scheme. So I was just curious if anyone else has had a similar experience or has seen it work that way.
Oops, sorry. I'm just gonna jump in and then give you the mic. I'm just gonna say, like, if you ever see me buying a meme coin, it is the call for you to sell, because most probably after I'm buying, it's gonna dump big time. It happened to me, I don't even know how many times, and that's why I'm not touching them anymore because it gets frustrating. Like, okay, I try. See, I'm not a DJ. I try and I fail. So I have to stay on my path and that's it. But I would love to hear from you guys. In my case, rather than meme coins, I've been like buying, everything soul related, in the sense like the foam. Now my partner was checking also this kind of video game console they're launching, but still it's just a DJ and play movement, and that's it. Not expecting too much.
I mean, if I may, I think that more things are meme coins than people think that it is. I would even go as far to say this, that the entire fiat system is one big meme coin. But again, that's probably just a hot take. Um, I do, however, think that I do, however, think that meme coins has the potential to convert to make the most amount of millionaires in the space, in terms of people who are here to just for a strict monetary value, super degenerates in the space. I think that there's a untapped amount of wealth that hasn't been injected into the system, and I think that just like altcoins and everybody who's building a system, I think that meme coins kind of provides not only a community similar to NFTs, but also what the narrative that they're propagating is that it's not just an IP individual thing. I think anybody can buy into meme coins at a certain price point, and I think that you could potentially win with meme coins, but you have to know and learn how to trade. And I feel like that it falls on the NFT community aspect of things. Leading up to this conversation, I think that crypto and NFTs they work together in pairs the same way that money and business work together. And I feel like what people mistake in this ecosystem is that um, an NFT community is a business, and what you are doing is you're providing value to your shareholders of the company. Unfortunately, you get a lot of bad actors and a lot of bad people in the space who don't look at it as such, and they look at NFTs as a meme play. So they'll launch a hypothetical meme coin NFT, like for lack of better terms, trying to compare them to get together synonymously. And I think that a lot of the people who do these, the nefarious people in the space, they do it just to launch this said NFT meme coin, because I'm calling them the exact same thing, and then dump that bag on their community. So I think that that's a very unfortunate and a very nefarious case in the space. I think that it happens a lot more than what people like to admit. That's why a lot of these meme coin NFT stuff go to zero and 99% of them don't build. But I feel like what it does do is it kind of shines the light on the projects that are building in the space, that are doing things that are not. And I'm not talking about the people who are like on the top 10 who wash trade their way all the way to the top. If you know, you know, a lot of these top projects that are listed very high is them, wash trading their own projects so that they can get up there. I think there's a lot of value to be gained in the space. I think that if you have someone who does have a business background, who does know how to build, can really take the NFT space further. But it blurs the lines. So I feel like that's what kind of like why I think that like the Friends Factory is very important. Not to show my project, bro, but the entire thing is to have friends in the space that's not going to fade you. That's our entire message. Trying to build something to give people like value in other ways, man. And I think that no offense to anybody if you disagree, and of course jump in at any point. But I feel like where attention is where the money will flow, and I feel like that as long as you can recalibrate your focus towards what the people want, you will create an environment where people don't want to leave your NFT. And when people don't want to sell your NFTs, that's when the floor price goes up. So like there's a lot of things that has to do with the floor, and I'm talking about outside of, like wallet drainers and all these other people. Do good business in the space, bro. Do good business in the space, provide value to your communities, and that is like some sort of a recipe that will help you build success in the space. I feel like meme coins has kind of adapted that in the community aspect. I feel like when you have a meme coin that has more than 5,000 holders, it speaks to the volume of it speaks to what the ecosystem wants from the people. And let's be honest, bro, it's a monetary value, bro. So if you can build something, whether it's Web 2 or Web 3, and you can create that value for your community, bro, like nobody's going anywhere. But for me, man, it's all one blurred gray line, and I feel like we're all in it together, fam. Like in terms of L1s, L2s, like even from the L2 aspect, right? Like even from or the altcoin season that's supposed to come after this current chapter of the story of this bull run. Um, you always have more altcoins, more people who are building the exact same thing that you've already built, and then just trying to make it a little bit better. And that happens with business, bro. If you cannot adapt with the times, if you cannot grow your business and constantly make it better for your community, then they're gonna move on to something that has better liquidity. And there's so much more that I want to say, but I want you guys to also have a chance to jump into this conversation as well.
Yeah, man, awesome. Well said. Well said. Lots of great points. I want to touch on a couple, and then CQ, we'll get back over to you, my friend. A couple quick things. So on the idea of memes, absolutely correct. Like anything can be seen as a monetary device. The question is like, what's the longevity of the device? What's its utility? And, what's its portability? What's its fungibility? How long can it last throughout history? Like back in the day when shells were money, they made better money than, bananas, right? Bananas rot, they go away, shells don't. And then, you keep going up the chain all the way through to, coinage and paper money and all the rest of it. And now we're at this place where money is being dematerialized and turned into code. And, obviously code on the right network is going to last and be one of the most difficult things to ever sort of destroy, especially now that we've got code like Bitcoin and Ethereum, for example, running on satellites. And chances are by the time we get to other planets, we'll be exchanging monetary value via satellite, and it'll probably be some form of crypto. But in terms of like looking at chains, like think of it this way, right? If you're looking at the investing world, and you're, doing some degenerate trading shit, then obviously meme coins are going to be something you're going to want to look at because you're looking for opportunity and opportunity only. If you're building a business, you're not necessarily looking for degens, so there's a disconnect there. And if you're not necessarily looking for degens, you're not necessarily talking community because community is not necessarily degenerate because degenerate people inside a community, if they're dumping on one another, they're not really a community at the end of the day. It's a marketplace. And so we've got all of these sort of ideas flowing back and forth, but in the crypto world right now where people are trying to figure out what the market is. And when most people say community, what they really mean to communicate is market. Because the first time someone can dump on someone and take their cash, they're going to do that. We've seen this, time and time and time again. But I would just have to challenge everyone to think about it this way, right? Like if you've got an L1, like a Bitcoin, for example, you can think of this as being a natural resource. Like, for example, let's say that you buy oil and gas. Okay, oil and gas is your natural resource. Now, on top of that natural resource, you can build something called a company, whether it's an exploration company, a drilling company, whatever the case may be. Maybe it's the next ExxonMobil. But that company that you build rides on top of the base layer, which is the natural resource, right? So if you're looking for security and you want to bring someone in and you want to talk to someone about how they can multiply assets, do you want to give them the complexity of a management structure and a company that can fail? Or you just want to tell them to buy oil when it's low because it's not going anywhere and it's going to get increasingly scarce over time? It's kind of the same thing, right? Like if I'm owning Solana and I can buy Solana on the way down, why do I want to buy 15 different meme coins that ride on top of Solana? or 15 different meme coins that ride on top of the next chain. It's the same thing. We're introducing a layer of complexity, a layer of distrust, a layer of all kinds of problems that can go wrong. And at the end of the day, which one of those things is going to outlast the other? Well, the base chain is always going to outlast anything that rides on top of it, just by the nature of the fact that it was there first. So like from a degen standpoint or a trader standpoint, I totally get the idea of meme coins. From a standpoint of, is it going to be around forever? No, definitely not, because what we're going to see is consolidation. And I think we're going to see this in this, we're going to start to see this in this cycle. You're going to see a lot of people dumping altcoins or feature coins and not buying them back because you're seeing them not run in correlation to Bitcoin already. They're not doing the same. They're not doing the same level of performance that they've done in the past. So if people are going to dump the altcoins because they don't necessarily believe in them, or at least there needs to be a consolidation of features, like if Ethereum is the world computer, do I really need another chain that's going to be the world computer? If Cosmos is the chain of chains, do I really need another chain that's the chain of chains, right? If Solana is kind of like the chain of all kinds of really crazy, cool business code and art, do I really need another chain that's all kind of, the same thing? I don't. So what we're going to see is a consolidation to the best. And with the meme coin thing, it's the same thing's going to happen. There might be a few that survive, but they'll survive in like really tight-knit groups, and they probably won't maintain their value over time. And I think basically 99.9% of them are going to zero. Just like I think 99% of like L2s and L3s are going to go to zero, because at the end of the day, it comes down to use. And like you were saying, like we don't need things duplicated to the extent that they're the same. We need things duplicated to the extent that they're going to be improved. And so far, we're in that place where we're just kind of playing with the tech. So just challenge everybody to think about that, right? If you're bringing someone in that you care about, you're not going to introduce them to meme coins. You're going to introduce them to something that they can actually be secure in, right? So I would just make that point before, kind of in contrast to what you're saying there, but yeah, awesome points all the way around. And obviously, if you have something to say to that, feel free to pop back up, and then we'll go to CQ. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, some really interesting points, man. I on the meme coin front, yeah, my thoughts are that like I'm not a big meme coin trader. I've got like less than, let's say, like 1% of my portfolio meme coins, but and I agree that absolutely, kind of most of them are going to zero. And I can't remember the stat, there's like 10,000 meme coins or something being produced every day. I think I did listen to the Murad thing, and I'm sure everyone's got thoughts on him and that. But I thought he did make some interesting points, because kind of like with meme coins, I'm kind of, sometimes I think they're absolute shite, and I just think, oh my god, this is what crypto is going to be kind of seen as, which is just not, it's so far from the original conception, if you like. But then I listened to the Murad thing, and he made some interesting points about like almost presenting meme coins as like anti VC, no token unlocks, all that kind of stuff. Now you could obviously just kind of refute that by saying that, yeah, but insiders dumping on everybody else, blah blah blah. So you kind of, like everything in crypto, you can get pros and cons. But I thought it was interesting to present them as kind of like, FU VCs and stuff like that. And then there's talk that, VCs are now in on meme coins, which again is kind of mind boggling, to think about that. But one thing I do like about the meme coin thing is kind of like, I really like the kind of what I call like a bit of a punk, like ethos in, and not just cyberpunk, but like literally punk, like punk rock kind of ethos in crypto, where people just kind of, it's like DIY. I I just like the fact that people can create, like I come from a traditional kind of business world and startups and all this kind of stuff, and a lot of that kind of tires me, because again it's just money and stress and all this kind of stuff, and it's kind of like, but I like the fact that people can just create. That's what I really like about crypto, and it's and so that kind of appeals to me. So I've really got mixed opinions meme coins. But I agree. I just think they're just a big part of this particular cycle. And I don't know where they'll be in a year or two, but it's a good bet that most of them will be at zero.
Yeah, for sure, man. Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, like we got to have longevity if we want the space to grow. And like, if you're bringing in new eyeballs, which we talk about a lot, right? Like, I'm not bringing anyone I trust and love and care about and telling them, hey, you should buy this meme coin. It's just not happening, Like, because at the end of the day, the market opacity basically dictates that you're going to be in a bad way at some point in the future. But I do agree with everything that you said in terms of the punk rock angle, right? Like crypto is punk rock, man. Like it's a total rebellion against the system, and it was designed to be such, and that's the cool thing about it. We got Polyrators on here, and Moses. These guys are out in Africa. They're doing some really awesome things for the local population there, and I was able to send them some money, to support what they're doing out there just in a few keystrokes, right? Like back in the day, I'd never be able to do that. It went straight to their wallet, and then they can spend that money however they choose, right? And so there's all these kind of punk rock things going on where we can bypass the banks and, we can transfer value to one another and we can build story and lore and sort of memify what it is that we're doing. And I think the next phase in that is just education. So one of the things, that I was thinking about when I was listening to Jinsu make some of those great points he was making is the fact that like one of the greatest things I think meme coins do is they educate new people about money and how it works and where you should put it, right? Because if you're investing, like you want to know who you're with, you want to know what their CVs are, you want to know what their backgrounds are, you want to know what their track record is. And what do we got in the NFT world? We've got opacity. We've got an inability to find this stuff out a lot of times. We've got people hiding behind PFPs who don't want to be publicized for fear of retaliation, right? Or for fear of reprisal. And at the end of the day, in the real world, you can come after people who screw you. Now, you may not get any satisfaction, but at least you can come after them in some way, shape, or form. When you can sort of hide and be irresponsible, I think this is what injects the problems into the meme coin world. It's not that meme coins are innately bad or the L2s or, also run chains or, all these different, it's not that any of them are innately bad. It's just that how can we as a community benefit from the existence of this thing? And, if I can't make sure that the party on the other end is going to be a responsible party, then I'm not going to recommend anyone I know or put my own money into that thing. So I'm going to invest with people I know, people with a track record, or people that I can find out about. And I think this has been probably one of the greatest educational devices I've seen in my life around money. Because coming up, I didn't come from money. I had to learn about it. I had to earn my own. I had to make my own. And I made a lot of mistakes along the way. But when I started reading and learning about money and investing and how to multiply it, these are all the things, these are all the tenets that went into making decisions around where you should put $100,000 here or $50,000 there, and then making those decisions based on, like the facts, as opposed to someone's opinion or someone's hype or someone's sort of horseshit take of what they think that they're going to do. And I think the market is starting to get a little bit smarter. At least I hope that's the case. And we're going to bring into existence a little bit more maturity. But we'll see what happens. I mean, ultimately, people are going to operate in their best interest. And as long as the promise of easy money is there, we're going to have gamblers. But, there's a place for it all. My whole thing is just you got to be educated about what it is that you're doing. And so, when it comes to the meme coins, I think meme coins might even be a separate market from, the main chain crypto market that we were talking about before. And then also the NFT market. Maybe we have three markets there. What do you guys think about that? Alex, Maria, CQ, what are you guys' thoughts on maybe there being the potentiality of there actually being three markets? And then where do you guys see in terms of the artwork world, like really quality artwork world and NFTs? I'm not talking about some of the trash that goes out, but like the quality artwork world going as it relates to the crypto pump. I'd be curious to get y'all's thoughts.
Well, just my 2 cents about the meme coins. I think, or I believe, or at least hope that most degens do not need to be taught that, rationally Bitcoin is the better choice. I think it's about the opportunity, about having the chance to make 100x in a week. A meme coin can turn $100 into $1 million. That's what they say, and you cannot achieve that with Solana or Bitcoin. So with Bitcoin, you do not get the viral tweets. You don't get recognition from the degen world, and I think that's a pretty important point as well. But to bring it back to NFTs again, I feel like the question should be talking about everything being its own world. How can the NFT space differentiate itself from the volatility of crypto markets in the long term? And is there actually a way to build a sustainable NFT ecosystem that is not entirely driven by crypto bull runs? And I feel like the answer would be to focus on there needs to be like a shift to shift the focus from short-term financial speculation to valuing NFTs for what they are, for their creativity, for their art. And when collectors embrace NFTs as meaningful works of art to cherish and to hold, rather than quick financial assets, the market will become more grounded and resilient in the long run. That's what I think, at least. But yeah, you guys are free to give me your take as well.
Yeah, go ahead, Maria.
Yes, so related to the meme coins and so on, I think that is why it's really scary as well, because it's scary, yes, as well, because obviously at the end of the day, people are greedy in the sense like, first of all, even though we know that whenever you put money in the market, you have to make sure that you're aware that you can lose it all, even though the majority of people aren't thinking about that when they are investing. I think also gets the extra FOMO and hype when you're seeing people chilling, like meme coins doing buying double, triple, and so on. And obviously you feel like, okay, I reached my point. Let's say I reached the goal I wanted to know, but maybe it can do more. So it is when greedy and all of these human beings' feelings actually started to pop up, and that's why I think like education is really important. But at the end of the day, the majority of people are not mature enough in the sense that they cannot control their own feeling, their own FOMO, their own hopes, right? So it's really difficult. And then related to the NFTs, answering the question that you put, I will say like actually how you build something too long, right? I think the answer is when you started creating the thing you want, in the sense like if you want to build an art project, if you want to create because of the love for art you have, because you want to continue benefiting your collectors with art, you have to be clear since the second one. Because at the end of the day, if you're trying to just follow different trends to catch more eyes, what is going to happen is, okay, you're going to catch more eyes, but those eyes aren't the ones that you really want. They are people who aren't aligned with your values. And I hope I'm explaining myself, but I had to learn that the tough way. And I realized like how simple it is actually just to start doing what you want, being clear from the second one. And if people got confused, well, my friend, it's your fault, because I've never been saying if you buy this, you get whatever, right? So I think like if we can educate in this sense artists to actually be more selfish in that sense, like do what you want, be clear, don't try to catch the new trends and be yourself, maybe we could see more projects getting till the long run. And I'm starting rambling, I'm so sorry, I want to say so many things, but my dog is here getting annoying, so I don't have my focus, but I hope you understand myself.
Yeah, no, I think I understand. You and we've talked about this a lot, like the free shit brigade sort of ruining everything for everybody in the marketplace, and people being afraid to stand in their value system. And when Jinsu was talking, this is one of the things that came to mind, right? Really standing in your value system, and if you value degeneracy, for example, you stand in that value system. That's what DGods does, right? Like they stand in that. In our project, we don't. We stand in that, right? And you're going to attract people who stand in that value system with you, so long as you show up with a spine. So, no, great points all the way around. And CQ, you've had your hand up there, bud. Go ahead.
Yeah. Again, really interesting points. I was going to say, talking about these different markets, like almost defined kind of markets. Obviously, there's a ton of overlap, but one thing that strikes me is that it really depends as well, like how sophisticated people are in terms of their usage of blockchain. So, a quick example: I met, I was talking to a guy the other day. I've known him for a few years. I didn't realize he held crypto. It just came up in conversation, and he was like, "Oh, I've got like $400 or quid of this particular token." And I thought he was going to say Bitcoin, Ethereum, one of the top tens or whatever. He said it was SHIB. So he's like, I've got a flatmate convinced him to buy 400 quid's worth of SHIB like a couple of years ago. And I was like, wow, like that's somebody who their sole exposure to crypto is SHIB. So I was like, that's kind of really interesting to me. But again, it's only because that would have been available on a centralized exchange. So this is my point, that like at the end of the day, you can buy crypto. People's first foray into crypto is trying to figure it out and put money onto a centralized exchange and then buy, which is normally a bigger token, I would imagine, or one that's at least available there. So you've got that as like an initial access point. Well, now if meme coins, like there are a couple of meme coins that got listed on whatever it was, Binance or something, and immediately went, or was it Pepe that got, I can't remember, but a couple of the bigger meme coins, but then they got launched on centralized exchanges and they absolutely rocketed again. So but if you want to buy an NFT, you're going to have to kind of get deep, right? You're going to have to start moving money into a wallet, and you're going to have to start exploring, and then maybe you come across more DeFi stuff and yada yada. So yeah, it's an interesting one, but I think I don't know what the breakdown is of people in inverted commas in crypto who just use a centralized exchange versus people who actually hold assets on a wallet and then start to kind of play on dexes or buy NFTs. Also, to complicate it even more, with the ETFs, you've now got people who, inverted commas, hold Bitcoin, but don't even hold the asset, because you're not holding Bitcoin, are you? You're holding the synthetic version of it. So it's really interesting. We're just in a very interesting time.
Yeah, go ahead, Maria.
I just wanted to say that I really love the discussion you brought, because it's completely true. Like nowadays, you can buy Bitcoin, you can buy ETH with your, online bank account. But if you want to buy an NFT, you have to go through the endless different steps, which aren't easy for everyone. And to be honest, when we started buying NFTs, it was because we had this idea that something, maybe some because of collecting. In my case, even though I am a collector, the first NFTs I bought was because I wanted to make money. It was a soul bank, and I did all the process. Okay, let's gonna try to create the wallet. Let's gonna understand this and so on, because I have the goal, like, okay, I'm getting a benefit or whatever. So I think like if we could, sorry, my dog is crying. If we could code the different steps that normies has to go through, it would be way easier, because I'm sure that there are a lot of people who would love to support their, talking now about, for example, artists, okay? A lot of people who would love to support their artists, their favorite artists, and they are already doing so by, I don't know, like Patreon or so on. They would love to also buy their NFTs. They just don't want to go through the entire process, because at the end of the day, guys, people are lazy. Like we all are. Like if we can avoid doing a 4-step, we're gonna do so. So yeah, I don't know what is gonna be the new narrative. I definitely think that nowadays, I feel like the majority of marketplace should have already the option to buy directly with credit card, not just only with crypto. But obviously, there are a lot of different things that needs to happen for that.
Yeah, I think you make a great point there. I believe this is my contention, right? And this is one of the things that we're, kind of working on with Goodfellas right now is, like the user experience is everything, to especially to the normies coming in, right? Like the easier it is to get from point A to point B, the better, and obviously the better the experience. I mean, when you have to pull someone aside and explain to them what a wallet is and why there's so many different wallets and how you have to fund your wallet and you have to go through a fiat on ramp and then you got to move it here and move it there and then you go to this. I mean, it's just ridiculous, right? So on some level, having those like those clearly defined pathways that are really easy to follow for new users, I think is kind of the holy grail of where Web3 needs to go. And when we do mints and that sort of thing, and right now we're dealing with a staking issue, and on Solana we've got a company that's basically dragging its feet, and it's not really doing what it said it was supposed to do. And I'm in talks with these guys to release our pieces and all this kind of thing. And like these are headaches that we just at this point I don't feel like we should have to deal with. Like it should just be a smooth situation at this point. We've been around for 4, 5, 6 years. These aren't new ideas. And yet, I think a lot of the market is just like one developer showing off to another developer. It's like, hey, look at this really cool thing I can do. And the other developer goes, well, hey, yeah, that's awesome. Watch me do it even better. And in that conversation, the user is lost. And so I feel like the next evolution of NFTs and Web3 is how cool and slick and smooth of an interface can we make it for like someone who's never done anything with Web3, hot off the street, we hand them an idea and then in 3 or 4 minutes they're up and running. Like if we could do something like that, then I think we really got something.
100%. And not only that, but also like the fact that we are in 2024 ending and we still don't have any marketplace in where we can trade all or different NFTs no matter the chain. Like how important it is, because I still feel frustrated. Like when I do my monthly airdrops, I have to go to Polygon because there they have it like build it in a sense that I can mint one with multiple edition. However, I have to go through the hassle of reaching out the Stargaze community for them to send me their Polygon ID, for them to being able to get it, because on Stargaze I cannot mint it. So, all of these things is what you said is user experience, right? Like I think it should be easier at this point when we see people doing like seriously magic on the blockchain, how these little things aren't still fixed.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I think at the end of the day, like Stargaze, I think, has a lot of great benefits. Solana's tech is like second to none. I think Ethereum made a huge mistake when they shifted away from proof of work to proof of stake, which basically invalidated all their L2s. So, I mean, at the end of the day, like there's a lot of shakeup in the market needs to happen. And as a user, like you don't really care what chain your artwork is riding on, so long as it's yours and it's secure, right? And so, like we're kicking around these ideas of how can we move NFTs to and from Stargaze from Solana, for example, and vice versa. And it's two different technical situations, two different tech setups. And there's a lot of different, I's that have to be dotted and T's that have to be crossed to make that happen. But the person who does that type of thing is going to be the person who I think really demonstrates an appreciation for that person coming in and really wants to show that they really genuinely care for that person's experience. So I really feel like that's the next wave going forward. On my screen, I'm showing hands for a couple people. CQ, is your hand up, or is it just a remnant? If so, feel free to chat, my friend.
No, sorry, man, not this time.
No worries, no worries. Just didn't want to leave you hanging, my friend. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I think the general consensus, it seems, is that the crypto bull run and the NFT market might be entirely separate things. So maybe we'll just get a couple final comments on that. I think I'm going to leave it. I think I'll leave my final idea with this, and then just get y'all's take on it. My general sense is obviously, I think Maria touched on this. People are lazy and people are greedy, and this is This isn't necessarily a bad thing, right? Like, I mean, obviously, if we conserve energy, we want to conserve energy. That's an evolutionary thing. If we can preserve our futures by manifesting wealth, we want to do that. That's not necessarily a bad thing either. I know these words have negative connotations, but that's not necessarily how they're meant. But if you think in terms of like the human incentive, humans always act in their best interests. And if, for example, you're holding an NFT in a specific denominated token, Solana, Bitcoin, whatever, and then you see that particular token running through the moon, well, what are you incentivized to do? I mean, you're incentivized to sell to get the token to ride up with it, right? That's the incentive. So I think the overarching separation between the two markets for people who are more degen than collector. I mean, we're not talking about collectors, but more degen than collector. These people will probably sell out of art-based assets into token-based assets, and then try to ride up, try to catch that wave. And this is one of the reasons that I feel like there's an inverse relationship between like crypto bull runs and NFT runs. I don't know if I should say plural yet because there's really only been one NFT run, as we said before. But I'd be curious to get y'all's thoughts on that, and then we'll start closing this out because I want to make sure that we honor everyone's time and we go into the weekend feeling good.
Yeah, I first of all, I really enjoyed the conversations and the different opinions and perspectives shared. I think the future will show how the NFT space evolves, but I think we can all agree that the NFT space can and will obviously survive independently of the crypto space moving forward. I think what Jason just mentioned is going to be like NFTs are some sort of hedge. I think, like if crypto prices go to the moon, and you have like NFT prices staying the same, there will always be people selling their NFTs for crypto, and generating profits, obviously. But in the end, I feel like once the collectors are here to stay, and the people who want to make profits and take profits will obviously come and go, as they always do. But I feel like the foundation is set for now, especially with the last, like everyone who built through the bear market actually managed to get a group of people together who were here when money was not here. So I feel like in the end we'll be good, and yeah, I think there is a bright future for NFTs, and I hope, obviously. I think Maria shares that opinion as well, I guess, right?
Oh yes, like I think we all share the same, sentiments. I will say I definitely I'm happy, even though we're on the beat and even though maybe we don't see that much movement. I'm happy to see that the NFT market is more mature now, right? Because that now it's easier to find your actual target, your actual audience, and now less and less DJs will stay around. I'm happy with that. I don't want them. But we'll see. I definitely think, as I said, that as soon as we get more fans, the ones like myself who are collector already, we're gonna continue even more collecting. But I'm curious to see like how it's gonna be the next NFT bull run. I don't know how to call it neither. And what is gonna be actually the thing that impulses it. I'm really curious to see it. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. CQ, did you want to tack on any comments to that, my friend?
Yeah, no, just that I do agree broadly with what people are saying, that like NFTs are here for the long run. I mean, of all these, you look at things like meme coins, and I don't know, like we say, maybe half a dozen will be there for the long run. But NFTs for me are definitely kind of where it's at. Also, they're constantly evolving in terms of the utility and such. And but I think the other thing with NFTs is that they will be also driven by this kind of like media attention, right? So now we're starting to all of a sudden, see all these kind of media reports about Bitcoin all-time highs and stuff like wider media, not just niche media. So I think that again, if Bored Apes go for silly money again, then that will obviously drive interest in the broader NFT market and on different chains. Because if you can't afford ETH, I mean, that's how I ended up. I spent a lot of time on and still am in Polygon. So I think all of those normal things, marketing and awareness and what have you. So I do see it that this. I think. I just think that money. Basically, people are going to make money in tokens and then start feeling flush and then just being like, right, what's the next thing? That's how I see this playing out in the next kind of 6 months. But irrespective, I thought the point about how can we make NFTs long-term sustainable and detach them from these boom bust cycles was a really, really interesting point. And maybe another discussion about that at some point, because I think for me, that's where it gets really interesting, because I do see NFTs as a business, and you can have a seasonal business, right, that does a load of trade in winter or summer, but you can't have a seasonal business that only makes money once every 4 years or something. So I think that's super interesting.
Yeah, that's a great point, my friend. Maybe we can dive into that next week. For those of you guys who are just popping on this for the first time, we do these every Friday at the same time. So feel free to pop by. And obviously, everyone on here, I really want to just throw a huge note of appreciation to all of you guys, speakers, listeners, everybody. I feel like we're doing our best to elevate the conversation around what's happening here. We've had a lot of talk about investment. We've had a lot of talk about, what it takes to build a real business, market cycles, and how we can onboard new users. And I think these are all important questions that the Web3 market has largely been avoiding for whatever reason. And with our project, Goodfellas NFT, I know Maria with her project. CQ, I was sort of creeping you while you were talking. Looks like you're kind of in that same vein as well. Billionaire Foxes and Moses Polyrators, these guys are all doing things in a sustainable way. And I would encourage everyone here to follow each other, stay on top of what's happening, support one another, because obviously it's hard enough with the support that we have. Let's try to make life a little better on one another by supporting good people doing good things. I mean, that's really what it's all about. And of course, I want to acknowledge everybody who's popped in here. Obviously, I've mentioned a few names, but I want to just take a moment and acknowledge Bilo, Pierre, who's been promoting like crazy. He's our promoter now with Goodfellas. He's been doing a fantastic job. We want to send you a lot of love and appreciation. Actually, just introduced me to two new people, one of whom is a French artist not far from his hometown that we're going to be doing some stuff with. We do have an artist incubator drop coming up on the 21st with an artist named Masan out of Iran. And this is a gallery that is continually expanding and growing. And I also have a line with Jilly from Fame Ladies Society, who's potentially going to be doing some work with us as well. So lots of exciting things coming into that gallery. And of course, a lot of code is being done behind the scenes for Goodfellas at present. Another person I want to acknowledge is STC. Good to see you, obviously. We created an award actually in honor of STC that will now become an annual award. In the artwork world, in the artwork connoisseur world, there is this idea of a trophy hunter, someone who is constantly acquiring high-end pieces and is building a tremendous gallery or portfolio of their own. And STC is one of those people out here picking up artwork from so many different places and so many different artists and supporting so many different projects. She is our trophy hunter for the 2024 year, and that comes with obviously a few rewards that we've mentioned inside the Discord server. So much love to you, girl. We super appreciate you. Hope that you're enjoying. I think you said you're on vacation, so hopefully you're enjoying your vacation and having a good time. And we're going to go ahead and start closing it out here. I'll turn it over to Alex. If anybody wants to pop up and just say a little bit about your project or excuse me, what you're doing going into the weekend, feel free. But otherwise, yeah, many thanks. And I'll turn it back over to you, Alex.
Thank you, man. You summarized it pretty good. So, yeah, you mentioned Masan, an artist from Iran who created a beautiful piece that is actually quite similar to her recent work. So, if you liked her previous pieces, you'll definitely love this upcoming one. So, keep an eye out on Discord, where all the information will be shared, and perhaps even a sneak peek or two. And with that being said, I'd like to thank everyone in here as well. Thank you to everyone who spoke on Spaces. We appreciate all of you. Have a great weekend, and we will be back next week. Until then, guys, bye bye.